Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Cliff Merrill from toneslinger.com, and today what we're going to do is we are going to change out a pickguard on a guitar and replace both the pickups on the neck and also in the bridge position. What this is here is this is a brand new guitar from SX Guitars. They're sold by Rondo Music. They're really good low-cost guitars. They're good for just straight out of the box. For just general playing. If you want to hot rod them, they're great for hot rodding, relicking, other different things, and they're very low cost, and you get a lot for your money. So what we're going to do today is, like I said, we're going to swap out a pickguard and both pickups on this. This is a Telecaster style, so we'll have to remove the pickguard and we'll have to remove the bridge, and then we'll have to remove the control plate so we can get in there, do some desoldering, and resolder the new pickups in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pickguard off so that we'll have that, get the control plate and the bridge off. And to do that, the first thing we got to do is loosen up the strings so we can take the strings off. Alright, now that we got the strings off, what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the parts from the guitar so we can get in there and cut wires, desolder as we need to. I'm just using a regular power drill here, and I'm just going to go around and pull all the pickguard screws out first. Set these screws aside so we don't lose them. Go ahead and take the bridge plate off. Now there's two screws for the control plate that I'm going to loosen up, take off. And then last but not least, what I want to do is I want to unhook the pickups from the pickguard and the bridge assembly. The way you do that is you just loosen them all the way up, and once they're all the way loose, the pickup should actually fall through the body of the guitar. And then you'll have 3 screws and 3 springs. Alright, so there's the bridge and the screws removed. And you'll do the same with the neck pickup. And then once that is done, the pickguard should just come right off the guitar. Okay, there's the pickguard. We're going to replace that with a new one. I want to make sure you save your springs. Should be one more spring. There it is right there. Alright, I have some just basic soldering tools here. I have a nice 45 watt iron. It has a low wattage setting and a high wattage. I usually use the high wattage for these type of things on terminals. I have some basic wire strippers that I'll use to strip any wire out that I need to strip. I have some needle nose pliers that I use to hold wires down while I'm soldering them. I have some desoldering braid, and I'll use that to desolder the joints. Of course, there's some nice lead-free silver-bearing solder. And this is mainly for electronics, so this is the type of stuff you want to use. Some wire cutters if I need to cut any wires. And then I use a lot of just tweezers, sometimes for holding things in while I'm trying to solder them, if the needle nose isn't handy. And then here's just a little X-Acto knife that I use to strip wires or cut insulation back if I need to. And the other thing I have here is I have just some flux, and what this does is it helps solder flow better. This is pretty old, but it still works, and still use it quite a bit. And then the last thing that I have is I have an old resistor that I just had laying around, and I'm not going to use the resistor. I'm going to actually use the leads off of it, because what they do on their joints is they just kind of drag the solder across and connect 2 of these terminals for the pickups. And I really don't like that. I just like nice little beads of solder, just enough to hold things down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the leads off this and just use them as jumpers to jump back and forth between the post on the switches. Okay, so here is the pickups, wires coming in. This is the bridge pickup, and we just need to remember that the bridge pickup goes here to this end of the switch. And then the neck pickup, the white wire, goes to this end of the switch, and they each connect to the last two terminals. And then the last thing is they each have a ground wire, and the ground wire is just soldered down on the back of this volume pot right here. And so we'll just need to disconnect that. So the two pickup grounds and then the bridge ground, those three are right there. So we're going to take those off and get that solder out of there. Now before I start, one thing that I always do, if you have a towel or something handy, I always lay a towel across the wood just to kind of protect it. And if you have any solder that drips or anything, that can burn through that finish. So you just want to kind of make sure you cover it real good. And usually just the way I do it is I'll just take a couple like that. It's almost like getting it ready for surgery. So we're going to desolder these and get them ready. The first thing I'm going to do here is I have my flux right here. I have just a toothpick that I'm just going to get a little bit of flux on this toothpick and just kind of touch it to these posts that I'm going to desolder. And then I'll also put it all around here on this volume jack, or this volume pot back here where the grounds are. And then it's just a matter of taking your soldering braid, or your desoldering braid, you lay that against the posts, the terminals, hold it down, and that solder wick will absorb that solder and draw it up into it. Alright, with that, the pickup should be pretty much disconnected. I'm going to go ahead and just cut off this excess right here. That was a really bad joint there, so yeah, it was just a big old ball and the solder had flowed through it, so it was very difficult to get it out. Alright, so that pickups should just come right out now. And then here is the bridge pickup. It'll come right out. And then what we're going to do is stop the camera, we'll move the guitar off, we'll take a look at the pickups that we're going to put in, and then we'll install them in the guitar.